This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com. I just finished watching the Uncle Howdy return on Raw. The last time we saw Uncle Howdy was when he botched that spot in the Bray Wyatt LA Knight match a few years ago. Uncle Howdy, of course, is played by Bray Wyatt's brother, Bo Dallas. Braun Strowman was part of this group, according to Dave Meltzer. Nikki Cross is as well. She was the woman crawling around. Um, the guy in the rabbit mask, I guess, was Dexter Loomis, who we've seen in NXT before. Joe Gracie was the guy in the gas mask. Sorry, Dexter Loomis was the bird mask. Vitnor is the guy in the rabbit mask. I have heard that WWE wanted to make it more realistic with this reboot of the Wyatt family, but it showed people basically with fake blood on them, including Chad Gable. Like basically, I don't know if they want us to think they're dead or what, but there I'm not saying it didn't get a good crowd reaction. Whatever the crowd was there was into it. But, I mean, there was at least 5 people that I don't know if they were pretending them to be dead or what, but they're in the back. The lights are off in the back, there's fake fog, and there's no referees running around, nobody's called the police. These people are just lying around, and, like, Chad Gable in particular, especially when they're doing real blood now with Cody Rhodes. They had Cody Rhodes bleed in the AJ Styles match and with The Rock, so we know what real blood looks like. And then we're seeing Chad Gable with the big patch of fake blood on his face. But just to me, if you're gonna say that it's gonna be a more realistic angle, wouldn't somebody call the police and wouldn't there be commotion in the back? I could understand if this was a vignette, like in a mysterious place or a warehouse where nobody would be doing anything about all these unconscious people laying around, but they're showing it in an arena, and it's just like all these people are unconscious and covered in fake blood, and we're supposed to think that nobody's calling the police and there's no agents running around, everyone's just doing nothing. To me, that takes me out of the suspension of disbelief. As far as the wrestlers, like failed people that didn't get over at first, I mean, Bo Dallas obviously didn't get over, Nikki Cross, Braun Strowman, Dexter Loomis, he was even fired for a while and brought back. Good luck to them on this. Obviously, people um miss the original Wyatt group, and that's why they're cheering this so loudly. So good for those fans. But to me, to hear that this is them coming back, and it's supposed to be more reality based than The Fiend. I mean, with The Fiend, we had teleportation and stuff. There was no teleportation in this. But to me, like to have all these people injured and nobody's doing anything about it, and that there's smoke in the dressing room and stuff, to me, that just takes me out of it. It's World Wrestling Entertainment. They should be part of ACTRA or whatever it's called, SAG, because this is definitely more on the entertainment side than the wrestling side, and that's fine. If it gets over, it gets over. But I wouldn't say this is more realistic than the last one. Someone says that he thinks this current storyline kind of blows. The bloodline was over for a bit, but now that or well, it was over. I'm not gonna say it was over for a bit. People like the bloodline, but now it's like the secondary characters. It's not Roman Reigns and The Rock in it anymore, so it's lost a lot of steam. Apparently, they're gonna break up the New Day, even though the New Day had said they'd rather quit in the past before they were gonna break up. Dave Meltzer says it appears they're gonna break up the New Day. So that's the other piece of news out of that. The real challenge for the group is when it's time to wrestle. Because if you remember the one Uncle Howdy match that happened, There was a mistiming, and he jumped off the balcony and was supposed to hit, I believe it was, either I think it was LA Knight, he moved out of the way. It was at the Royal Rumble of 2023, or it could have been Bray Wyatt, I don't know, but Uncle Howdy, whoever it was, either Bray Wyatt or LA Knight, he missed the spot of hitting the actual person in the finish, and yeah, even though he missed, they still set off fireworks and everything. Let me just look that match up quickly. Uncle Howdy, Royal Rumble. Who did he wrestle? Yeah, he did wrestle LA Knight. I didn't get that wrong. It yeah, the one match he had, there was a botch in it, but people I mean, they spent a lot of money on these costumes. The costumes are very fancy, and they're obviously putting a lot of money and effort into trying to get this over. So, Uncle Howdy, there's some interview clips with him on this channel. He seems like a nice guy, and his family's been through a lot, so good for him. They're definitely going to push the hell out of this group, and definitely kids are probably going to like it, which is all good. But for me, it's too hard to suspend disbelief that there's all these injured people in the back and nobody's running around. I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar company. Wouldn't people be calling the police, or is someone trying to get these guys medical attention? To me, that's someone says again, he likes this. To me, there's not enough realism to it. I do think there will be an increase in Netflix. I do think it's a good thing overall for them to go to Netflix. For instance, I'll get Netflix because I don't want to get Netflix enough to get it just for the movies, but to be able to watch the pay-per-views and Raw and SmackDown. Not that I will watch Raw and SmackDown, but like the pay-per-views I will watch on Netflix. So for instance, I will get Netflix. I think, and I think they'll get more viewers overall because Netflix is worldwide. Only 5 came out, that's right. I don't think that, Eric Redbeard came out. I don't think he was part of it. So time will tell. Anyways, put your opinions in the comments. To me, the costuming was great, but it was just to me again, it's maybe some people like that other guy that commented, he liked this quote unquote dark stuff. But to me, I like dark stuff myself. I'm a huge horror movie fan, but I gotta have some realism in it. And all these dead people or knocked out people and all the medical staff that we know are at WWE events and nobody giving a hell about it, that just turns it off to me. But I know if you guys are willing to overlook that, you might like it. The costuming, thumbs up for the costuming.